Hello everyone, hope you are good and be happy always. Once again, welcome to Shachi's Academy and today we will discuss production function. So let's start with that. Topics to cover. Today we will cover what is production function, types of factor, that is fixed and variable factor we will be discussing, then short-term production function, long-term production function, variable factor ratio and fixed constant factor ratio, law of variable proportions or the law of diminishing returns or diminishing marginal product will also be discussed in this video. So let's start with our topics. Terms. First of all, we need to understand what is production. Production basically is the process wherein we use certain raw materials, certain factors of production and produce certain commodity, that is goods, etc. So here we can see that what is production? Transformation of input into output. When we produce certain things, goods that are sold in market, if we are the producer, then we will have to use certain inputs. These inputs are basically the factors of production, that may be a land, labor, capital, raw material and other factors of production that are used in process of production. Then we indulge in the or undertake the process of production and we give out the output, that is finished products, goods or consumer goods that we normally see in the market, that we purchase after giving money. So what is production? Production is the process wherein we convert our inputs or factors of production into finished products or goods that we see in market and buy them. Okay, so this is production. Then production function, what is that? Production function relates physical output of a production process to physical inputs or factors of production. See, when we do production, if we are a producer, we have to use certain raw materials and that raw material is then converted into finished product with the help of labor or the workers, you can say, the machines that we use in our plant, certain factory, etc. and we convert that into a finished product or the goods. So this process, it is a physical output that is given out of production. So production function is a process, or you can say the relationship, which shows relationship between your input and the output. Marginal cost, what is that? Additional cost incurred in producing one more unit of output. Suppose you are producing something, suppose you are making burgers. So the cost of producing, if the cost of producing 10 burgers is 200 rupees. And if now we want to produce 11th burger and the cost of that is 210 rupees suppose, or 220 rupees, then what is the cost of that last burger that has been produced by us? That is 220 minus 200 rupees. Okay, so now the cost is equal to what? Rupees 20. So this is marginal cost, that is the cost of producing one more commodity, one more unit of commodity is your marginal cost. Then output, that is production, you can say, quantity produced, you can also say, quantity created, you can say, a quantity or output completed, you can say. So production or output is the one and the same thing. Then returns to scale, a term referring to changes in output resulting from a proportional change in all inputs, where all inputs increase by constant ratio. He returns to scale. What is scale? First of all, we will be discussing that later on also, but right now I am telling you here that scale is the size of your factory or the number of machines you are using in your process of production, because scale means the size of your plant and machinery only and nothing else. So what is returns to scale? The return when we use your machine and when we use your factory to produce commodities, the production is the return that you get after employing all these factors of production and the machines and your factory, etc. So that is returns to scale. Rental rate, what is that? The price of capital, the machinery you are using, the plants you are using, the factory you are using, that is your capital, and the rent that anyone has to pay for that is your rental rate. Marginal product, the extra output that can be produced by using one more unit of input. So if we want to produce certain extra amount of a commodity, okay, after producing a chunk of commodity, if you want to produce one extra amount or extra unit of commodity, one more unit of commodity, that is known as marginal product. The last commodity, that is last unit of commodity that is produced, is called your marginal product. Then capital, we have already discussed C marginal cost and this is marginal product. Capital, already produce durable goods. These are durable goods, they can't be broken very easily, and they are used to produce certain other commodities. Okay, these are intermediate goods, you can say, that we studied in our 12th standard. So these are already produced durable goods available for use as a factor of production, such as steam, shovels, equipment and office buildings, etc. and the structures that we use for production. You can see over here, this is a structure, that is a factory, you can say, and these are the machines. These are, you can say, an example of machine, but there are large number, n number of machines that are used in the process of production, and that is known as capital. This plant and this machinery together, they are known as capital. Then here, production function. What is that? It is a function, technological function you can say, or technological relationship you can say, between physical inputs, that is labor and capital, and physical outputs, that is goods of commodity, goods or, this is or, you can write R over here, goods or commodity with the given level of technology. So, when we want to produce certain commodity, we have to use inputs. These are physical inputs. What are physical inputs? Like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and then your plant, machinery, everything is there. So here what is there? We have taken only two factors, labor and capital. Workers, you can say. Labor is used in the form of workers. Employees, you can say, in a factory or any plant that is used to produce any commodity. So here we have used only two factors, that is labor and capital, and physical outputs. These are the goods that we see in our markets. So goods are produced by using physical inputs of, you can say, factors of production. Then commodity with a given level of technology. So this is what? What is production function? It is functional relationship between input and output, nothing else. In simple terms, this is the equation. Qx is equal to Lk. Here Q is quantity of output of any commodity in this world. You can say camera, you can say light, bed sheets, tube lights, computers, markers, coats, blazers, switches, anything in this world that is we use or that we purchase in market is your product. And you can replace this X with that commodity. Suppose you can say quantity of bread. You can also say quantity of biscuit, quantity of garments, quantity of cameras, quantity of computers, anything, quantity of mirrors, looking glasses, etc. is equal to, is produced with what? It is produced with the help of labor and capital in this world. So, labor and capital are basic factors of production that are used in production of anything in this world. Anything and everything in this world. Okay. Then a printing machine. For example, we have a printing machine, one machine and two workers. So, this production function will be acquire this form 100 books in 1 week. So, this is QX. 100 books in 1 week, in a span of 1 week is equal to 2 laborers and 1 capital. That means with the help of 2 workers and 1 printing machine, we are producing 100 books in 1 week. This is production function in simple terms. Then QX is what? Quantity of output, commodity produced. This is quantity of output of any commodity. You can say X commodity. X means anything in this world or everything, you can say, right, anything. Okay. Then labor, that is variable factor, and capital is fixed factor. We will study variable fixed factor here. Fixed factor and variable factor. What are they? Fixed factor. These are the factors which remain same with change in level or volume of output. Okay. These are the factors which remain same. Fixed factor like plant and machinery. See, in short run what happens to you? In short run, your fixed factors can't be changed. Can you buy a new machine next day? You have started your factory. Suppose I have started a factory today and I receive an order of 1000 books, printing of 1000 books. So can I complete that order? Because I have only 1 machine and 2 workers. I can't change my machine. I can't change my establishment of the factory or the printing press I have with me. So I can what? I can only change the workers. But fixed factors will be fixed and they will be constant. So I can't change my fixed factors in very short span of time. That's why these factors remain fixed with change in output. Installed even when output is 0. These factors have to be installed even if we do not produce a single commodity in our factory, what happens? See, if we want to start any business, we will have to buy some building or rent some building for ourselves. Then we will buy some machines and install those machines in that plant. Okay. So now what happens that if we are not producing even a single commodity, then also, first of all, the first step would be renting one place to install our machines. So machines and plant are the primary requisite or the primary requirement of doing production. Even if we do not produce a single commodity, single unit of commodity, we will have to have machines and plant. Okay. There is a printing press here which can print 100 books. Okay, maximum capacity in 1 week. For example, this is plant and machine. We have taken this example. Then, variable factor. These are the factors which change with change in level or volume of output. Okay, so here a machine can be used for printing 100 books. Up till publication or printing of 100 books, we do not have to change your machine. Or you can say up till printing of 200 books in 1 week, we don't have to change machines. Why? Because if we want to print 200 books, we will employ more workers. But after that, we have to have new machines. So if order comes to us, if someone says that print 1000 books, we will say that we can't print those books, go to someone else. We can't print, we don't have that much capacity. Okay. So here variable factor changes with change in output. It is 0 if output is 0. For example, here labor is variable factor. If we want to print more books, more than 100 books in 1 week, what we will do? We can't buy a new machine because machine requires some time, it requires huge amount of money, and we may have to purchase those machines from abroad also. Or for example, in India also, if you want to purchase a machine from Chennai, it will take at least 3-4 days or maybe 1 week to arrive in Mumbai or say in Delhi. Okay, it may take that much time because some logistics have to be managed for requirement of that. Okay, so here it is 0 if output is 0. Here variable factor can be changed. Only variable factor can be changed, but if output is 0, it is 0. If we are not printing any books, why will we require any workers? Take for example during COVID-19, when all the factories were shut down, they were closed, there were no workers there, only machines were there, only plants were there. So if production is not being done, if we don't want to print any books in our example, then we don't require labor. So it is 0 if output is 0, but capital can't be 0 if output is 0. It has to be there. Machines have to be installed. So there is a difference between fixed and variable factor is fixed factor is needed at all times even if output is 0. But here variable factor is not required if output is 0. For example, 2 laborers, papers, ink, electricity, etc. are all the variable factors. Short run or short term, what is that? It is a period of time when production can be increased only by using more variable factor and fixed factor is constant. In short period, take for example, we have one printing machine over here. If anyone says that after 2 weeks that you print 1000 books, we can't do that because in short term we can't change our machines, we can't change our building a factory. So here in short run production can be increased only by using more of variable factor. But anyhow, we can increase the number of laborers or the number of workers we have. So we can increase our production by increasing the number of workers or increasing the number of employees. So only labor can be increased in short run. Capital cannot be increased in short run. In short run, fixed factor cannot be increased or scale of production cannot be increased. So what is scale? Scale is size of your plant and number of machines you can use. So here scale cannot be increased. Therefore, production can be increased only up to a certain limit. So here production can be increased only up to a certain limit. See, for example, in our example, we can increase printing of our books from 100 to 150 or at most not more than 200 books. After that, we will require new machine to print that in 1 week. So what we will do? We will return that order. We will just say that we can't print these books in 1 week of time, 1000 books or maybe 800 books. We can't print these books. Please we can't accept this order. So we won't be accepting that order. Example, there is one printing machine, you have order of 200 books and you can't publish more than that or print more than that. Then, short production function. It continued. It is a production function when one factor is fixed and others are variable. In short run, fixed factors are constant. So one factor is constant, okay? Fixed, that's why that is fixed, and others are variable. So here labor is variable, here raw material is variable, and other things, tidbits of things are variable, but only machines are fixed. So here one factor is fixed and others are variable. Others can be changed. Production can be increased only by increasing variable factors of production. Then in this period, fixed factor is constant. Short run production function is called variable factors production function. That's why it is called variable factors production function. Why? Because only variable factors can be changed to increase production. That's why it is called short run production function is called variable factors production function. Then short run has variable factor ratio. That's why it is called factor ratio changes with the change in output. Here factor ratio changes with the change in output. Let's see how it changes. Here it is QX is your quantity of output. This is our production function equation. Then is equal to F is function of your labor and capital. Why K dash is written here? Because capital is fixed. You can also write K bar. You can put a bar on that. Okay. So here capital is fixed and labor is your flexible, or it can be changed. So here if we take initially, if we have two laborers and one machine, we are having only one printing machine here in our example. Here proportion is 2:1. Why? Because two laborers are there and one machine is there with them. Then QX is equal to function of 4L and 1 capital. That means here we have increased the number of laborers or the number of workers for printing our books. See here, one machine is there and 4 laborers are there. So ratio becomes 4:1. Why? Because in short run, in short term, we can't increase the number of machines. We can't install new machines. So here only one machine is there. With that one machine, we have employed, we have increased number of laborers, and now how many workers are there? Laborers are there? 4 are there. So here the ratio changes to 4:1, or 4 by 1 is equal to 4:1. We can see the proportion is changing. Now we see here the proportion was 2:1 initially. Then after we employed more workers to increase our production in short run, because one factor is fixed, here our ratio changes. So the short run production function is called variable proportions production function. That is the reason. Okay. Then diagram is here. Hence high level of output can be done only by increasing input of labor from OL1 to OL2. So here is this is OL1. O is your origin, and here L1 is the initial amount of labor that we were using with one machine. We are having one machine, and here machine is constant. That's why it's K dash. Okay, it's not K1, it's K dash only over here. So it is OL1. Initially we were having only 2 workers, so OL1 is 2 workers. When we wanted to increase our production, we increased our labor from OL1 to OL2. So our labor will be increased, but machine will be constant. Now scale of plant, what is that? Here's the definition. Scale stands for capital or amount of capital or plant or machinery used in production. So a scale is plant or machinery that we use in production or amount of capital that we have. In short run, we cannot increase plant and machinery and only increase quantity of variable factors. That means we can employ more workers only and no machines can be increased. Long run production function. It is a production function where all factors are variable and production can be increased as needed. Why? Because see, in long run, we have enough amount of money, we can buy new machines, we can get machines from abroad, we can get machines from anywhere from India, we can purchase a new plant, we can build a new building, and we can install any number of machines that we require. We can take loans from bank, we can take loan from people, we can even save our own money and invest that in business. So long run is long enough to make all these changes, but in short run these are not possible. So in long run all factors become what? They become variable. They can be changed. That's why it is called all factors become variable. You can change machines, you can change your building, you can rent new buildings, you can build new buildings. So that's why it is known as all the factors become variable in long run. Long period is long enough to increase production scale or capacity of the firm. Production is increased by increasing both fixed and variable factors. So all the factors can be changed. Machines can be changed, plant can be changed, and workers can also be employed in more number. Capacity of existing plant can be changed and new plant can be set up. So these are the characteristics of long run production function. Then the equation we have, in your long run production function there is no k dash. Why? Because nothing is fixed, everything is variable. All factors become variable, and here if we want to print 500 books in our example, then we will employ 10 laborers suppose, and then we can employ 5 machines. But in long run, if production is required in more quantities, take for example if we want to print 1000 books, then also we can employ more labor and more capital. Here what is there? That we have employed 10 machines over here and 20 laborers are employed, 20 workers are employed. That means your ratio is constant. We can increase both the plant and machinery and your number of workers. That means fixed and variable factors both can be changed in long run. So ratio can be kept constant. Why? Because 10 by 5 is equal to 2:1 and 20 by 10 also is equal to 2:1. So ratio remains constant. Okay. It is called constant proportions type production function because ratio remains constant with increase and decrease in production of output. So here if we want to increase our production, we can increase more of machines and more of labor. If we want to decrease our production, we can use less of machine and less of labor. Okay, then here our ratio is K1 L1 divided by OL1 is equal to K2 L2 by OL2. In diagram it has been shown here. Long run production function, production is increased by increasing both fixed and variable factor. All factors are variable over here. So here this is a line which is passing through your production. That is, initially production was 500 books and later on we wanted to increase our production, that is 1000 books. To increase our production for 500 books to 1000 books, we have increased our capital from OK1 to OK2, that is from 5 machines to 10 machines, and we've also increased our variable factor, that is workers, from 10 workers to 20 workers. So both the factors have increased in long run production function. Difference between long run and short run. There are 3 basic differences between them. Number 1 is type of production function. Short run production function is called what? Variable proportions production function. We all understood it initially that it is called variable proportions. Why? Because proportions in our short run production function varied or they were changed. Initially they were something else and later on they were something else. Initially it was 1:2 and later on it became what? 1:4. Why? Because we employed more of labor. 4 laborers were there and only 1 machine was there. Then in short run, ratio of labor and capital changes with change in level of production. In short run, ratio of labor and capital changes, that's why it is known as variable proportions. If ratio remains constant, that means what will be the ratio? It will be constant ratio. So here in long run production function, it is called constant proportions production function because quantity of both the factors changes, variable and fixed. That's why ratio can be kept constant. In long run, ratio of labor and capital remains same with increase and decrease in output. That means if we want to increase our output, we will increase both of them, quantity of both of them. And if we want to decrease the output, we will decrease the quantity of both of labor and capital. Scale of output. Second difference is scale of output. In short run production function, scale of production can't be changed. So it is constant. Short run is very short to set up new plant and buy new machines and install them. So here in short run scale is constant. Why? Because we can't buy new machines and new plant. What is scale? It is size of your factory. It is number of machines that you have. That means scale can't be changed in short run because there is no enough time. You don't have money in short run and you can't change anything. But in long run, new plant can be set up and scale of production can be changed. In long run period, there is enough time to buy new plant and machines. So long run is enough time period. Then returns to scale and returns to factor. Short run production function, it is called returns to factor. Why? Because in short run only factor can be changed to increase our production. That side is known as returns to factor. What is returns? That is the amount of production that is accrues to your factor. So here production can be increased only due to factor increase and not by scale increase. That side is known as returns to factor. In long run production function, it is called returns to scale because scale can be changed, and that's why this is known as returns to scale, as production can be increased by changing scale of production. In next video, we will discuss our law of variable proportions. Why? Because in this video, we don't have sufficient time to discuss all the concepts that are related with law of variable proportions. It is a basic law that is normally used in our economics. So it is a very important law. In next video, we will be discussing that. And till then, take care. God bless you, and keep watching the videos and keep learning things. If you have certain problem, please do ask in our videos. Thank you so much. Take care and God bless you.